Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Wednesday, July 8th. Hope everybody's having a good start to their morning. Hope everybody's got some coffee in them and ready to get on the charts here. So, pretty strong continued push here on the NQ to the downside. I think we pretty much nailed our thought process here yesterday. Once we saw, where did we see? Once we had this little breakout of this weekly band here. Weekly band actually worked out really nicely. Got a really nice rejection off of both of these levels here. And once we finally broke through yesterday, a little past 9 a.m. Central Time, so about half an hour after the market opened, I mentioned that there was really not much holding the market down besides the weekly band sitting at the 2900s, and we did come back, retested that level, and then we finally broke through to this band right down here. Now the band did partly hold. There was no level here, so I didn't have like a tradable level here. But as you can see on this first push right here, we did reject off that band. We did sweep the bottom of it, but it did hold up the market there. So that's the weekly band side of things. Let's take a look at the ES. What a phenomenal level here at the 75.32. Just absolute beauty of a level there. And what we've got coming up on the ES is if the market does want to come down a little bit lower, we do have another weekly band here on the ES sitting at the 74.59 to the 74.08 with another tradable level at the 74.58. So obviously I'll be keeping a close eye on that one. And then to the top side, we just have this tradable level at the 76.61. And even though we have FOMC minutes today, market's going to have to make a pretty strong push, to the upside there. Gold, you know what? Let's go to the daily on gold. This is the daily here on gold. So this is what kind of to expect here in gold. We've got buyers sitting down here at the, let's call it the 4,000 to the 39.83. We've got sellers pushing here at the 41.44 to the 41.24s. So this is going to be probably the two bands that we do have FOMC minutes today, so we might, if we do get a push, we could revisit even this band here. Again, sellers are sitting right here at the 42.17 to the 42.02s. NQ, this was the bands and levels that I gave this morning. So every single morning in Discord, they do get posted about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the market opens. We do have a band here at the 29.290 and the 29.660. As you guys can see, I gave you guys this right here, something to be a note of. No real strong levels here or here. All right, so it's a little peculiar situation here on the NQ. I'm going to be pretty interested in seeing what type of reaction we get here, because this might give us a kind of an early sign on the NQ here for this morning. If we can, if we reject, we can obviously revisit that weekly band below us, but there's a possibility that we can break up through here and go. Because there's really not a lot of unbalanced volume that I personally see as well. Besides, obviously, this pretty inefficient move here at about 3 o'clock in the morning. ES. All right, so the ES finally this morning, again at 3 a.m. on that pretty strong dip. Tapped right into our daily band that I gave you guys yesterday at the 74.73 to the 74.51. We rejected price action off of that band very quickly. On the ES, we do have a band sitting right here at the 75.48 to the 75.31. Again, a good amount of sellers sitting right there. And you've got a tradable level at the 75.45. So that's the kind of the outlook here for the ES, the NQ, and in gold. Morning, Bob. Morning, Keith. LSJN, good morning. As far as some key levels here on the NQ, we're approaching one right now on the NQ at the 29.209. We've got another one sitting here at the 29.374. We've got our overnight value area high sitting right here around the 29.400s. We've got yesterday's point of control sitting right here at the 29.537s. Value area high of yesterday sitting at the 29.587s. So good amount of liquidity obviously sitting right here as well. Those are both in a pretty key area for me. More key levels here on the NQ at the 29.959, the 29.973, and the 30.094. So those are the key levels there on the NQ. Let's take a look at the ES. Let's start from, I don't believe we have anything below us. We don't because of price action from last night. Let's get rid of this guy. All right, ES. We've got key levels sitting here at the 75.29, the 75.45. We got some unbalanced volume sitting down here at the 75.55 to the 75.52 on the ES. Yesterday's point of control, value area high, sitting up here at the 75.70s and 67 respectively. And this is an area that I am super interested in here on the ES. Obviously, it's pretty up there. It's at the 7600s, but you've got just a lot of confluences up here. Key levels 75.96, the 97, the 7602, and the 7601. And there's just a good amount of seller unbalanced volume sitting right here as well. So very interested here on the ES. Again, we got to get up there though. And then we'll take a look and see what kind of reaction we get here at the 29.209 key level, where this key level is also sitting at, if you can see very faintly, the aqua blue line sitting behind it. That is the weekly value area as well. Todd, good morning. So let's see also how there's some unbalanced volume here sitting by buyers at the 29,084 to the 74s. So I'm going to be a little curious here to see how they react from there. And then above us, we do have some seller unbalanced volume sitting here at the 29.14 to the 01 as well. And kind of coincides with the value area high here as well. So possibility we come, maybe sweep here and look for a rejection to the downside there. Morning, JLos. As far as high impact news this morning, we've got oil inventory report at 9:30 a.m. Central Time, so about an hour after the market opens, and then we've got FOMC minutes this afternoon at 1. I got some trapped sellers right here, possibly. You can see sellers trying to hold this market down right there. You can see right here is previously the sellers were pretty impulsive right there as well, which is pretty much where we just rejected from. You are correct, Todd. Yeah, that's what I just good amount of selling pressure over here. I think it was around 3 a.m. or something like that. Yeah, about 3:30. And again, that's why I kind of noted this morning that this band's going to be going to probably be pretty interesting here on the NQ. See if we can break above it or if we reject off of it. I think we most likely take out the 120s right now. We got to go through a good amount of volume there, but ATR is at a pretty healthy 16 points here on the 1 minute. Not gonna lie, I was kind of enjoying the couple weeks here of not having to think about so many spikes with Iran headlines and with the conflict over there. Markets have still had some pretty good volatility, but it's just those unexpected headlines are the ones that are true killers. Especially as a volume-based trader. I don't think I'm going to take. I don't think I'm going to look at this here at this tradable level anymore at the 29,209. I was thinking about taking a look here for a possible short scenario. We've got the weekly value area sitting over here as well, and this key level right here. But we've really been kind of breaking structure now to the upside. So higher highs, higher lows. And we're just kind of going through the inefficiency of yesterday's 3:20 a.m. headline spike there with Iran. Comments at NATO. Just feel like I'd rather wait for maybe some unbalanced volume down here at the 29,084 or back up here at the value area high. Just seems like a little bit more predictable. They are pumping volume in. Buyers are definitely pumping volume into the see if we could break here above the 190s, sitting right over here on this 190 area. Okay, we're testing it right now. Let's see if they reload up here around the 80s, 84, 85. Okay, 89's got some support. That went away. Morning, Nordic. Yeah, I've been watching the World Cup. Not every game, just the games that all right, once again, we can see really trying to, sellers really trying to defend right here. Morning, AP. All right, testing back up in the same exact area again. Oh, my poor Ninja Trader. You're so lonely. So lonely over here, buddy. It's bizarre to see my Ninja Trader statement that comes in every day. Today, 0. 0 trades taken. And it's a little frustrating with my monitor setup because Ninja Trader is still taking up a good amount of real estate on my monitors. That I think my life would be a little bit easier with deep trades on there, which might be something I have to do. I take that back. This is not value area. This is a low volume node. I thought I had those removed from my chart. Let me just see where this is originating from because it's kind of bothering me. Yeah, it looks to be like almost like the low of yesterday, but it wasn't. This was the low. A little confused by that. A little confused by that blue line there. There was the tap. I'm pretty happy that I left that level alone, because I kind of feel that that might have given you a... No, it did not give you a flip. Okay. I was worried because I saw a pretty strong pullback there, but I guess the pullback wasn't worth 8 points. I'll be right back, guys. Looks like we trapped the shit out of buyers there pretty good. It's a nice little pattern too. That's definitely a nice little short pattern right there. It's pretty much textbook what you want to see. You got some type of level interest area. You'd like to see sellers getting trapped, some continuation here by sellers. I assume that's the way that this candle, I was actually in the washroom, but I wasn't watching price action. Now let's see now if they hold here. This is where the sellers were holding before really well for a really good amount of time. AP, Rob, how useful is that delta histogram for trading levels to you? Looks interesting. It's I've been commenting on it quite a bit. It's definitely something new to me. I have always kind of interpreted delta on a price basis. This has proven to be extremely useful to me. Extremely useful to me. And just some areas that you can, you know, some ways to use it. I don't know if I can find maybe a good example here. All right, so here's probably the best example I can give you. So I've got already a unbalanced volume area sitting right here at the 29.14 to the 29.401. You could see that at this level right here, which is pretty much the 29.400s, you can see that your largest positive delta occurred right at the 29.400s. But as you can see, it was also the biggest drop off that we had. Now, granted, this was news based. This was Iran news based, so take that kind of what it's worth. But you can find areas where, you know, obviously a good amount of trapped buyers, which we're probably all sitting right here. And you'll see when you come back up to these levels and you tap into it, you will always most likely see a pretty swift reaction. And then conversely, you can find areas, let's just say if you find an area that's clustered with a lot of sell volume, and it also, you know, you get some type of confluence where you've got some unbalanced volume, you've got a, you know, level of interest, you got fair value high, low, point of control, you know, a daily high, daily low, previous daily low, the open. You know, if you find some confluences there, this is maybe not the best because this is not like, we have a good amount of seller volume right there, but you'll find on the chart that there'll be areas that are, or I should say like little pockets that are just super dominated by sellers. This is just showing me right now the overnight session. But during the market open, I'll show you guys some examples of it. But I have been finding it to be one of the best indicators or tools, volume-based tools. Not the best, but I've been finding it very helpful in giving me some confluence in areas that I mark out. Looks like buyers trapped again. Sorry, Bob. So yeah, the delta histogram here on the side, like I was explaining, so I was muted on signals, but I have been finding it extremely helpful. As I was mentioning earlier, I've always looked at delta from a time point, or I should say a candle, which is what I use with my footprints. But this gives you a price-based delta, obviously on every level. And you know, the example that I gave, sorry, I was muted on signal, so I'm just going to kind of go over this one more time. Where did I see that at? Let's see, where did it go? Right here. So we go back to that dump at 3 o'clock this morning. Yeah, right there. So one way that you can interpret this delta here is we obviously had some buyers that were pushing, and these buyers got absolutely destroyed. Obviously, this was high impact news that was unscheduled. This was Iran headline that came out. But you can see that this 29,400 level had the biggest amount of buying volume, buying delta in this entire pre-session market, and they got absolutely destroyed. So that's a good reactionary point. And then secondly, how I use it is if I do find an area of unbalanced volume and I see a big cluster of very strong, let's say I'm looking for a short, or I see unbalanced volume but from sellers, if I see a really big cluster of selling delta or sell delta, that it gives me some added confluence as well. And that's kind of how I've been using this one. But like I said, I think of all the tools, I should say all the new tools that I've been using, this one is I've probably been making the most use out of that. Trump talking on TV with Zelensky. Okay. Good to know. So who do you think is going to win the World Cup? What's your predictions? I have a feeling, got a feeling that it's going to probably be like England. It's either between Spain or Argentina for me. Norway. All right, well, I think I'd take England over Norway on that one for some reason. They really are. I would say it's been pretty balanced World Cup. Let's see who's the favorite in Norway, England. England enters as the clear favorite against Norway. Okay, so not making a bold prediction there, but... And then, I just don't know, Spain or Argentina. Let's see, who's favored to win? Spain or Belgium? Spain. And then let's see who's favored to win. Argentina. Or Switzerland. Argentina. Okay. So I am on the betting side of things. So England, let's say England and Spain. I think England's gonna win it all. That's my prediction. Mark it up. Yeah, it's gonna be a great game. And good timing of it too. It's like I got nothing going on as of right now, unless I got a client that asks me to do some showings or something, but I don't have really anything Saturday afternoon, so it's gonna be nice. Man, I went down the rabbit hole last night went on the YouTube rabbit hole last night, and I was pretty much home alone for a good 2 hours last night. Kids were all doing stuff. Wife was out with her friends, and I just went YouTube hopping on different trading channels. I haven't done that in a long time. It's been probably about 2 months, just to kind of see, I don't know, I just kind of like seeing what everybody else is kind of up to. I will say, I do depend on the chat here to keep me in check. If I ever sound like an absolute douchebag, hopefully somebody will let me know. I could not watch majority of the stuff last night for more than 5-10 minutes. And if I ever sound like a commercial, please also let me know. That's truly not my intention. I know I've got my prop firms that I've got there on the banner. It's got my code on there, but please don't ever. I just told myself, please don't ever sound like a freaking commercial. I don't know. It was pretty bad last night. And then I got into some things that have been recently on my algorithm. I've been kind of getting over the cabin in Alaska algorithm. So I've been looking at that. I've been watching that. I've been watching some nomad videos on people that have been building their own trailers, and which I find pretty fascinating. But that algorithm is kind of peaked out. So I've been recently on a I guess car renovation, car repair type of algorithm on YouTube. Obviously Matt Armstrong's big on my stream. He's the one that fixes up the exotic cars, the rebuilt ones, the ones that are totaled by insurance. And there's another mechanic guy. He is freaking brilliant. I don't know the guy's name. I was watching one on a video on a Toyota engine. I guess Toyota made an engine that just came out on the Tundra, the Sequoia, I think the LX or the GX, that's just been having a huge amount of recalls based on I guess when they were manufacturing the engines, there was a bunch of debris in the engines, and there was causing them to seize up. And this guy is just freaking brilliant, man. This older dude. Let me see if I can pull him up. He's going to be in my history for sure. Even though if I show you my history, then you're going to know who's a douchebag or not. History. This guy. This guy. I don't know if you guys have ever watched this guy. Dave's Auto Center. Oh shit, he's got 1.5 million subscribers. Holy moly. But this guy, I was hoping that this guy right here, this guy's freaking brilliant when it comes to engines. He does a lot of engine rebuilds. And so he's on my algorithm a lot. And I don't really have any interest in any invested interest in the motors that he fixes, but just like I like watching smart people. And then what else? What else has been on my algorithm recently? Obviously, it's golf, cars, like fixing of cars, and trading. And I would also say, oh, I do have, oh, I forgot. The one big one on my list has been real estate. Like these guys that, you know, will do the tours in like New York and Manhattan or in LA or Florida and tell you like this is what rent can afford for $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. Been watching that recently a lot. Oh, so I got Keith in the Signal group that also says that he loves his videos, very addictive. It is. I don't know what it is, why they're so addicting. Like I'll spend 45 minutes watching him like rebuild a motor that I don't have. But I am surprised that Toyota screwed up that bad with that motor. I used to have a Sequoia back in the day. Still say today that was one of the best, I guess, SUVs that I've ever had. That thing was freaking amazing. That thing was built like an absolute tank. 5.7 liter, had a tow capacity rating of like 10,800 pounds. It would tow our RV. I mean, we took our RV to Florida. Where else did we go? Went to Tennessee a few times. We went to, I think, South Carolina. And towed it on that Sequoia. And that trailer was almost 8,000 pounds. And it towed it with no problem. In fact, I sold it to a good friend of mine, a fireman. And he still uses it today. So I still get to see it. And it's still running like perfect. And it's got to have 170,000 miles on it. But I was surprised that the motor that they put in, so they put in a 6-liter to replace the 8. I mean, the displacement dropped almost in half, but they added twin turbos to it to get it to like crank out about 400 and I can't remember, 420, 4 something horsepower. But apparently there's two different sides of the coin. One is there was some factory issues in a lot of the internal engine parts that had little pieces of debris still left in it, so they weren't obviously sterilized and cleaned properly. And then on top of that, they're saying that the amount of displacement, I'm sorry, the amount of horsepower that the small motor is cranking out, and the oil grade that they're asking them to put in is just inadequate for the car. Not inadequate, it's overdone. So they're pushing too much horsepower out of a small engine block. All right, 7 minutes for market open here. Traveling and food, I mean, I've gone through that circle. I've gone through that phase in my YouTube algorithm where, so like when Dave Portnoy was doing the pizza slice challenge, well, he still does it. That was big on my, unfortunately, I don't eat carbs anymore. So that one's more of a, it's a hard one to watch now, I should say. So I would watch him. I'd watch, what's the other guy's name? The one that goes and tries out, the guy with the crazy hair, bleach blonde hair. He goes into like unique family-owned restaurants and like finds like their staple food. So I watched him, but that algorithm has passed. It's not, it probably realizes that I've been on a pretty strict diet recently, or for the last 6 months, so the food has disappeared from my stream. Anthony Bourdain was great too. I was gonna say, I thought that's what we were talking about, but that wasn't that. That's... All right, so we got France. We got France, Norway. But David, yeah, I gotta agree. I think the Saturday's game is gonna be freaking awesome. I don't know, guys. It's looking pretty heavy for me here. All right, 5 minutes to market open. Time for a refresh on the coffee, and I'll be right back. We'll get this party started. Nice little opening pump there. All right, so we tapped into that daily band that we were talking about earlier this morning. Let's see what kind of reaction we get from there. They break through. Now let's see if we can hold up here. And we almost retraced that, well, pretty much retraced that entire inefficiency move. Again, going to be real interested in this area right here on the NQ, pretty much from these 374s to the 400 area. Tapping into yesterday's value area high is sitting right here. We got some unbalanced volume sitting right here, key level. Guy Fieri, that's the guy. That's the guy who I was talking about. Morning, Nate. Morning, Keith. Got a few Keiths right now. Take a look at the super high time frame. developing. Yeah. So something to note. Let my chart here build up here 1 second. We're actually going to be entering into a developing weekly band. Come on. Right here. So this whole purple area right here is a strong weekly band as well. So that's going to be something to note. Got a lot of confluences up there. Maybe a good one to watch. We'll watch the 60 and 120, how they react there. Even though they kind of, why does that not seem right? It should be extended down. What did I do wrong? Well, this actually should be extended down a little bit. Damn. This is really at the 338s. So right almost to where they tapped right into. Right, almost right to the tip of it. So we do got a weekly band, developing weekly band that's happening right there. So not surprising to me right there what's happening. And we did get a flip at the 120 right there. Kind of snoozed on that one a little bit. I kind of snoozed on that. But no big deal. Let's see if we can get something in this area of interest that we already had mapped out. New event starting soon. Live charting and question and A with Andre. I got to miss you too. That was good short right there. That's a good shorting opportunity right there. Okay. Not gonna worry about that. Nothing there. Excuse me. All right, nice little push. Don't think we're gonna get a flip here on the 120. All right, if we flip here, I might take a short here. All right, I'm in there for a short. Let's see if we can get a little push to the downside here. Got unbalanced volume sitting right down here around the 300s. Come on, break down here just a little bit. Come on. Break down here. I don't want to see this come against me anymore. So I'll take out for break even there. Buyer's really been stepping in there, so. All right, out for break even there. I think we had about 20, maybe 20 points there, 25 points. Actually, no, not that money. It was maybe around 15 points. Let's see here. This was entry. Entry was at the 52s. We got down to the 29s. Yeah, 23 points. Like I said, the unbalanced volume is actually sitting right down here. So that, you know, obviously you've got a kind of a target right there. And then I'll look at this. We do still have unbalanced volume here from sellers sitting at the 414s to the about the 400s. So that'd be another area of interest of mine. Let's see if we can grab something there on the 60. That was a good break even, I think. Just I do got to be careful here because buyers have chewed through this weekly band. And we haven't broken through it just yet, but I do like the delta statistics right on the top of the bar. It makes my order entry just a lot easier. Oh, we got another flip there, huh? Tough little spot. It's a good area of interest. Morning, FTDK. Looks like I might have got in on the wrong flip there. I got in right there for break even. This flip right here probably would have been the better play there. All right, let's see a test now here of value area low, which is sitting down here right at the what is this, the 286. See if we want to bounce from there or not. And we could bounce that right back to point of control. Just unbalanced volume sitting right there, so good confluence is there on a short. I'm sorry, on a long. Come on, don't go after that just yet. Let's come back down here and let's test this out down here. So looking for a bounce here off of value area low right there. Got good negative delta. Let's close. All right, I'm gonna take a long there. Nice trade. It's about 15 points right there. Ooh, we did not get the flip there. It was negative delta right until the last second there. Great trade right there, though. Could have maybe held that on just a little bit longer. All right, let's take a look at the bigger picture here and see what's kind of going on. Good job, Bob. So far, weekly band has held. This is developing. This is not a Sunday weekly band that I gave you guys. This is developed from last night. So it has held right to the tick, pretty much. All right, let's take a look at the ES real quick. A little update here on the ES. Let's see if I can do this right. I don't know why that last band was kind of off from my NinjaTrader band. All right, right here. So on the ES, we are going to be entering into a pretty strong daily band right in this purple area here from this, 75.48 to the 75.32. As again, this is on the ES, 75.48 to the 75.32. You know what? Maybe it's on my, is this already on my? Yeah, it's already on there. 75.48, 75.31, yes. Okay. Just didn't have it on this DeepCharts yet. Confluence is here on the ES. We've got yesterday, I believe yesterday's value area low, or high, I'm sorry, yes. Value area high, sitting right here. So let's put that text in. So we'll say yesterday, value area high. So a lot of confluences right here. 75.32, 75.32. Remember that number, 75.32. $75.32. I'll say it one more time. Yeah, so this is a very likely target right now for the NQ. If we push back down, we'll most likely revisit this key level here at the 29,209. But it does have a little bit of work. It's got its work cut out for it right here now too. Oh, this is I forgot who was asking me this morning about the histogram. So if you guys take a look here, you see this big negative delta right there. You kind of push that off. That's a huge push here from buyers, another push from buyers. And you've got a lot of selling pressure there for remember I was telling you the sellers were trying and trying and trying. They finally broke through. So that's how I kind of use that delta histogram. Now it gets a little more granular once I scroll out of it, but I wanted to show you this origination move from it. I'm gonna add it over here. 75. Not LAH. The hell's an LAH wrap? Dummy. Nothing there on the flip. This band's trying its hardest to repel. Really like this footprint layout. It's just so clear, it's so easy to see. Love it, love it, love it. Love it when a plan comes together. So we got oil inventory report at 9:30. We got FOMC minutes at 1. Keep saying it looks heavy to me, but just rejected this value area low so many times. But I believe if we can break out of that, we could revisit this 29,209. The buyers are going to have to give this up. And you can see they'll have some roadblocks. They'll have one little roadblock right here, another roadblock right there. So it shouldn't be just a zoom. It'll probably be something like that. Again, you do pretty well just trading value area high, value area low. We already capitalized once on it. Capitalized on it last night as well. It did start off the morning 75 bucks up. Took a short last night from value area high. Off of a 60 flip. Or might have been a 30 flip, I'm sorry. It was a 30 flip. And I really do like the money management built in within DeepCharts. It really is helping me out tremendously because, you know, on like the 120 range, which are going to be bigger, those are bigger moves that I'm looking for. It's already adjusted, you know, based on my risk, the amount of money I want to risk on that trade. So it's already automatically adjusted there. The 30 range has got a different... is, you know, different quantity. 60 range is different quantity. All based on the risk that you want to put on. Bob, any news if Trump's done? I know you were talking at 8. TV cut away from him. He might be still talking. If you ever buy a Lambo, just don't tell us. I promise you. What I promise you, I'll never buy a Lambo. Standalone or web-based? You're talking about Grant? You're talking about the DeepCharts? This is desktop. I mean, you got me on that one actually, because I believe that they have an web version of it, I have not, and I don't quote me on that because I've been so busy just getting the desktop running perfectly, which it really is right now. I mean, this is honestly absolutely perfect. It's got everything that I've really been asking for. The only thing that I wish it had is I wish that it had the heat map. I wish that it had the heat map. I just want the heat map levels. I don't need the, obviously I've got the bubbles already on my chart, but I would just like to see the heat map levels on the chart, on the actual NQ chart. I think that would be, someone can figure that out through Bookmap or through, but guys, 300, I paid what, 375-ish for the heat map for a lifetime license of it. I was spending $120 on Bookmap every single month. I mean, that's a fucking no-brainer. Spending $1,200 to $1,400 a month. Spend $300 one time, or $350, and you got your exactly the heat map that I had. In fact, better because I have MBO on here now. I think it's a no-brainer. An absolute no-brainer. No, my my PC is, this thing's built to the tits. I mean, I built this in November of last year, and this thing's an absolute animal. The graphics card's good, the memory is insane. I told you guys I went with AMD, their AMD processor, which I am super happy with. In fact, I actually think it's more fluid than Bookmap. I would lag a little bit more on Bookmap than I do on the Deep Dom here on DeepCharts. Just everything, the money management, the portfolio, the trade copier. It's got everything. All right, another test here, value area low on the NQ. Remember what I said, we could dump right here to the 2909s. We'll probably see a little bit of, man, are we rejecting again? All right, nothing there on the 60. We really? I don't know. If we flip this candle here on the 120, I think I gotta almost take a long to value area high or point of control sitting right over here, which we didn't flip it. So again, areas where I think we might see some resistance right now is going to be, you know, obviously right here is going to be a spot, and right here is going to be a spot, but 2909s to me is a very viable target for the NQ. Good battle going on here, though. Good battle. And like I said, I think if we flip any of these 120s here in this value area low, I might just take a long right back into what do I got? What do I got brewing? I got VWAP up here, which is not going to give me enough target. I almost got to go back up to value area high, but I got to go through all of this garbage. So maybe the long is not the best play here. Again, I'd only look for a long if we can flip this 120, which doesn't look like we're going to. Most likely we come back down here to the 2909s. 29209s, I should say, sorry. All right. And we bounced exactly where I said we would bounce. Have a little bit of resistance right there, right here. And then now we should go into the 2909s. 209s, I should say. So the weekly band ended up holding up. It did not break it. Point of control flip back into very, very low. I wouldn't mind taking a short here. I'm going to take a short right there. And what do we got some for targets here? We keep saying the 29s. You know, I'm going to keep my target right there. Let's see if we get a continuation push here down. And if they take me out here, they're definitely, buyers are definitely going to come back here. So I feel a lot stronger with the shorts here. Just take a look and see what problems we don't have any problems here. We really don't. We break down here. The 209s is where it's going to be at, in my opinion. I'll try to secure it like at least 50 bucks on this one. But we should break down. You know what? Let the trade breathe here, little Rob. Let's go. Come on. Shouldn't be any resistance here. Let's go. Oh, I don't want... No, don't do that. Let the trade breathe a little, Rob. Wow, that snapped back hard. We had about 50 bucks on there too. That was a good 25 points. Bad trade. Real bad trade there. Bad management there. There's no reason for that to have hung up right there. It should have been a dump. And I am taking a mental note of where my stop was at. My stop was sitting right here on that trade. I smothered it. I didn't anticipate that snapback so quick. On this power candle here, I thought we had it for sure. Break even is not a loser. Yeah, but that was disappointing. So it would have saved me 75 bucks there, but still a little disappointing there. That I don't see any reason there for that pullback right here. This right here should have been the candle. This should have been our TP candle right here. Didn't see anything in its way. 66. 28 points. Sorry guys on that one. That was not a good trade there. Fuck. And I kind of missed the unbalanced volume sitting right here. So the unbalanced volume was sitting right, no. Where did she go? Where did she go? Right here. This was like your unbalanced volume area. So on that pullback that we had, that would have been a decent, right there, would have been a decent, another decent place to short. Got the flip there. It would have been hairy. Actually, my stop would have been sitting a little bit above it. Because I am giving myself a little bit of a buffer now on the flips. And really the buffer's built in because of the money management. So it kind of averages where it needs to be at as far as the quantity. So my stop would be sitting probably 3 or 4 points anyways here. So I would not have gotten stopped out there on that flip. But another tap there. No flipperoonie. See the 120. No flipperoonie. Nothing to do there for me. Uh, 8 minutes for initial balance to be set. Let me just get... I don't know if I trust 8 minutes being... This might not be the value area. I'm sorry, this might not be the initial balance low. But we'll see. I'll put that on there just to have her done. The weekly. $75.32, man. The ES can get up there. We got to trade for sure. These have already been... those worked out so well. So well. All right. Got the roadmap. Just kind of bouncing in between. I really thought we would dump here. Let's take a look at some levels here. Let's just see if the 32s have anything right now. Pretty low, but it's still pretty up there. 44 contracts sitting up there. 115 contracts at the 25s, which is pretty much the high of session. So those are going to be where stops are sitting at. All right. Yeah, I got to agree with you there, Grant. Todd says he's working on a new tool this week, a modified bubble. Ooh, I like mods. I like mods. Back to point of control. Actually, point of control sitting below us. So VWAP and point of control are pretty much the same right now, at least for the regular session. All right, 4 minutes for initial balance to be set. We should have a decent initial balance today because we've been pretty much in this range, stuck in the middle. Kind of stuck in the middle of the range. As long as we don't get like an impulsive move here to the downside, which looks like it might be coming. Might be coming. That might have been what we were waiting for. Now I'm kind of hoping that we don't. I hope we kind of just stick around right here. We don't want to see that now get tapped because I'd rather it set up nicely for the initial balance trade, which we've got about 3 minutes left on that. And I feel comfortable in putting in this line here at the 399. I'm going to take away this weekly bands. Don't need it on this chart. And let's get these a little bigger. Perfect. All right, we're ready there. Nasty candle. Nasty candle, man. Oh, shit. Oh, that is nasty. Damn. I left, but I know I would have been smoked in that one. I guess depending where your entry's at. If you've got a stop sitting somewhere above here, you'd still be kind of okay, but that would have been instant drawdown. All right, 2 minutes for initial balance. So one of my Signal members saying Trump at press conference in NATO 9:24 a.m. Son of a gun. Is he literally talking right now? Shit. That doesn't give me a good Oh no, Trump maybe will do some things that could increase the oil price. Well, it obviously means bombing the shit out of Iran again. What'd that come out? 9:28? When was this candle here? 9:27. That was the news candle right there. That's that headline that came out. All right, oil inventory report. Oh, wow. That doesn't look right. They're expecting a negative 1.9 million and they got almost 3 million. How does that number sound right? Well, if they got that much supply right now. Here, the table just came out. Current week crude oil 730 million barrels. Week ago. Oh, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I don't know. The actual report and what Financial Juice is reporting is not. Doesn't seem to jive together. All right, so we'll see. We do have a good initial balance right now because we've been pretty damn balanced. We've been sitting in this pretty much in this middle part of the initial balance range, so we should have some good liquidity sitting at the top, good liquidity sitting at the bottom. And those are going to be your best environment days for the initial balance. The trade for me on the initial balance is pretty simple. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'll explain it. Let me switch over here so you can see both of my footprints here. So on the bottom hand side here, or I should say on the right hand side of your screen, you're seeing my 60 range footprint. On the main screen, you are looking at a 30 range footprint. These are both of my entry candles for pretty much all of my trades, majority of my trades, I should say. And what we're looking for is if we tap into, turn this off. If we tap into a value area, I'm sorry, initial balance high or low, what I'm looking for, if we tap into the high here, I am looking for a down footprint, red footprint with positive delta. That's my order confirmation to go in. Entry is right here. Stop is going to be sitting 15 points above. 15 points above, 15 points is going to be my target on the initial balance. And the complete opposite at the bottom. So if we go look at our initial balance low, which is sitting down here at the 29,174, here I would be looking for a tap into that initial balance. I would be looking for a green footprint with negative delta. And that's my flip there. Entry right here, stop loss at 15 points, take profit at 15 points. So 1-to-1 trade. And the reason why I have 2 footprints on my chart is, let's delete this and let's put the timer back on that one so they go away on their own. The reason why I have 2 footprints on my chart is that sometimes the 30 range will cross in, will sweep that level, maybe 4 or 5 points below it. And then as we're coming back into it, the 60 range is still going to be inside of that, or it's still going to be at that initial balance. And then the 60 range, which is a bigger range, it's 15 points or 60 ticks, however you want to look at it. Then I'll look for the flip on the 60 if I can't find it on the 30. We could stay right here until we get a little closer. As far as the environment today, we're in a pretty good environment for the initial balance. The only opposing factor right now is, you know, Trump at NATO speaking. So, and I believe it is at a press conference. So that could cause candles like this right here. And I mean, you saw all of the buying, you saw all of the seller pressure come in, instantly retrace back, nasty move back to the upside. And again, I would have been stopped out. I would have been stopped out probably here. If for some reason I would have gotten to that trade, I probably would have waited for this candle, and then I would have wanted to see how we react when our candle comes back up here. If I start to see a wick forming with a body coming right back down, then that would be probably a better entry confirmation, or a flip on the footprint chart, like either the 30 or the 60, either one. And the setups that I don't necessarily like on the initial balance will look where you've got you know, let's just say a low formed early on, and then we get a strong pump up, and we get here about 9:30 in the morning, and you know, we're pretty much banging our head right against the initial balance. The 9:30 time hits, you know, there's not going to be a lot of liquidity sitting up here anymore, just because price action is very fresh. Your better liquidity is going to be sitting down here. That you know, now you've got all of those people betting on the longs. Obviously, a natural place for a stop loss would be around that initial balance low. And again, for some of you that might be new, you might say, Rob, why are you on a different platform for the initial balance? I have been trading NinjaTrader for, I would say probably the last 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5, not 45. But the last 4 or 5 years, I've been trading just strictly on NinjaTrader. I did make the switch over to DeepCharts about 2 weeks ago, and absolutely love it. But I have a good amount of capital still here in NinjaTrader, so I've got 14-ish K on my personal account, my live account here. I've got many funded accounts still attached to it through Tradeovate, so I can't trade Tradeovate accounts on DeepCharts, nor can I trade my NinjaTrader cash account. So I've got a good amount of capital still sitting here. And I figured it's a good opportunity to at least take a trade a day on the initial balance trade that I take most every day, at least that when I see a setup that works or that I like. And that way it'll kind of keep this capital working somewhat. They're all on E-minis, so you know, my risk here is 300 up or down. And then on my DeepCharts, I funded this with 5K. So this has a live account, which is what you see, the P&L on the left. That's an Iron Beam brokerage account. And then I have several fundeds and one eval, all with rhythmic connections on DeepCharts. Oh, and a Blue Sky. I got a Blue Sky funded account. And those are all getting copy traded with the built-in trade copier into DeepCharts, which I haven't had any issues with. Why is that initial balance not... Why is that initial balance not driving? 174, 75. Why does that say 201? Huh. Interesting. Oh, we finally tapped right into that 209 area that I was talking to you guys about, but look at that. Look at the path it took to get to there. Well, let's see, what was this opening candle at? It's at the 200s. I have 201. Okay, so it's a good thing that I... Oh, so did we just tap into it almost? I don't know why that's off. 201 even? I don't know. Did we just tap into it? Shit. What the hell's going on here? This was the low right here. It's at 201 exactly. Okay. I don't like that prior sweep though. So let's jump onto the 30. Come on, Rob. Not a huge fan of that sweep earlier on there. I have IB way lower at like 153. Well, 153 is definitely not right. Let me just check this one more time. Yeah, 153 is definitely not. I had it at 174 based on this candle right here. I don't know. Something's not very kosher here. $201. Okay. Everybody else is at 201. I'm at 201 now too. All right, there's a tap. Nothing there yet. Nothing there yet. $60 ain't gonna flip. Oh, it might. 60 might flip. No, it did not. Nothing, guys. Nothing on the 30 or 60. Dang. What I got for talking it up today. Thought this would be a nice one. I was actually hoping it would get the flip right here. That would have been A-okay. Nothing. Nothing. I don't know why this is showing it at the 174 today. I don't think it's ever done that before. This must be calculating the close of the 829 candle. That would have been the flip right there. Bet you that's a flip right there. Let's see. Right there would have been the flip. That would have been a loser. Okay. Good. Good. Goody good. Alright, so another day, no trade there on again, I'm gonna get a statement on the NQ and from Ninja Trader. No trades. Say, Rob, what are you doing? That's ugly. This is ugly. This is some ugly price action right now. How could everybody be so off on the initial balance? 29,223, 153, 201, 200, 202. $223. So at 0-1 time, you're gonna have to be on the 1 minute for that to work properly, because on the 2 minute, the way that Ninja opens and closes on their, well, I guess depending on what platform you're sitting on, could be off there. I don't ever remember ever seeing a discrepancy like that on that indicator. You got to count the wick. Give me 1 second, guys. Really nothing I really like right now. There's just not. Everything is pretty balanced out. Does anybody trade? One other thing I was watching, not last night. I didn't watch that last night, but it must have been, I don't know. Can't remember when it was. You know the trader Tom Hogard, I think it is. I might be butchering his name, but I think that's right. Tom. Let's see. So I probably about two or 3 years ago, I did watch a lot of his just price action videos. Just make sure I got his name right. Yeah, Tom Hogard. So he's got a trade set up for FOMC. I'm wondering if any of you guys have watched it. Let me see if I can look it up here. Tom Hogard, FOMC. I've never traded it, but the rule of 4. Yeah, this is what it is. So if you guys want to look at some interesting data that he has on FOMC trade, it's mechanical, so there's really nothing to do. Let's see if I can kind of go over here where he sets it up. So let me pause this here. So his trade's pretty simple. He waits for 4 10-minute, so 4 10-minute candles to form, and on the 4th 10-minute candle, he brackets them. So he'll have a bracket here and a bracket here, and he's looking for a breakout from the 4th candle, 10-minute candle. And he's got like, I think he's got like 15 years of data on just this particular mechanical trade on FOMC. I've really never traded. I take that back. Probably in the first year of trading, I probably traded FOMC and I lost my ass. But over the last 2 years of disciplined trading, I don't really trade FOMC. I should say. I just simply do not. So I've never taken this trade, but if anybody's interested in a mechanical FOMC strategy, this might be something for you to look into. And his stop goes at the bottom, and I think he's just a 1-to-1 or 1 and 1.5. And he's nuts. I mean, he takes it on the ES, the NQ, the Dow. I know he trades like the FTSE and stuff like that, but he takes it like on all 3 indices. So he'll bracket all 3 10-minute candles, and he'll let them all just either trigger the buy limit or sell limit at the bottom, and then he manages whichever one hits first. He'll manage it. He'll go to the second one. The second one hits. He'll manage it. Puts a stop here. TP's right there. So it's a pretty interesting. So you just type in Tom Hogard FOMC, and it's the video that he comes out with is called the Rule of 4. He's got about 3 or 4 videos of him live trading it, so you can actually see it in action. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think on that particular, I don't know if you're talking about like how he normally trades with the low win rate, high risk to reward. But from what I was watching on the videos, and again, this was months ago, I just thought of it right now because it's FOMC day today. I forgot what I was saying. It's a 1-to-1, and I think it's got a really good hit, a really good win rate. He's got data on it, so if you watch the video, I don't know. I pass along things that I see that are interesting to me. Another thing too is if you go on YouTube around, what would that be, around 140? He most likely will be live streaming it, so he'll live stream it. He'll live stream the trades. I know he did it the last FOMC. I watched it, I think, that evening, and he did win. for what it's worth. All right, my people, I think I might call it a morning here. Good 3 hours here. Took one winner. Took a winner last night, so we won't count that one. One winner this morning. 2 for break even. Nothing on the initial balance trade, so I'll take it. Well, we're green. We're green for the day, so not the best, not the worst. But I will see you guys here tomorrow, Thursday, and hope you guys the absolute best in your trading journey here this afternoon. Careful with FOMC, and